All right, what is good? I'm gonna get into the daily range. Break everything down for the day. The trade I actually took, trade I lost on, what I could have did better on, why that was probably avoidable, and what the better setups on the day were. So a lot to break down today. But getting into my trading journal, gonna get into bias first off. Today's the 25th. So heading into the day, this is what I had written down right here. Um, in my bias, I said basically I like these equal highs on ES. I was honestly leaning bullish. NQ and ES both have a 4 hour below that could be used to deliver higher, but that is a steep retrace. Given the scenario, I wanted to either take some sort of cont long or longs from the 4 hour gap. So keep that in mind, longs from this 4 hour gap or cont longs from this low. So first setup of the day right here. This was the A plus setup of the day. I'm not even gonna lie, I did not even see the setup happening. I was making the journal and putting this. I wish you could see the time on this. It doesn't show the time of when I posted this, but I swear to God, I would have took this 100% if I saw this live. This 2 minute inversion was as good as it gets. Um, Perfect setup, as clear as it's gonna get. Now, why is this a good setup? Because this was my first condition. My first condition was this low. This low would be the condition to either take us to the 4 hour or take us higher. I just need to see the reaction from it, given the fact that I was inherently bullish. And you come to here, what do you have on an internal range? You have an unfilled 30-minute gap right here. So obviously, you come up, you close the 2 minute, you make equal highs with that 30-minute. This is a peak entry. Honestly, I probably would have put my stop. I would probably put my stop at like CE of this wick or something. Just like, yeah, maybe not even that. Just give it a little bit of space. But and then I would have TP'd at 1R. My reason for TPing at 1R in this scenario is that's just my rules. Whenever I take a Judas, I just like to be off as early as possible. I noticed that I don't believe, did we have an 8:30 red folder today? No, we didn't. Yeah, we just had that 10 a.m. But this devil's mark on the 8:30 is actually a really clean target too right here. So yeah, as you see, this came up. Yeah, I mean it hit the devil's mark actually to the tick. That had to be something, which I'm just now noticing. But I notice, for example, on Judas swings, if I were to maybe take this, hold for the full range, it comes breaks evens my original entry and like does me bad or something, like it would probably ruin the rest of the session for me mentally. Like I'd be looking for maybe opportunities that's not even there or do something stupid. So if I can literally be on the market for 5 minutes and secure 1R, which for me would be about, depending on conviction on the setup, around $300 per account, I'm going to do that. So that's the first trade of the day. This A plus entry right here, probably going to be setup of the week, and I missed it. Low key salty, especially because of the way things turned out. But heading into the rest of the session, what do we do? 950 runs, sweeps out these equal highs here. Now, I know some people took shorts from here. For me, ES is doing nothing. Like, I did not like shorts. I was actually bullish. I think this entry wasn't terrible. This 1 minute re-entry, targeting these equal highs. Just given the fact that this low should be protected, we come down, we retest what of this range? OTE of this whole entire buying range right here. Perfect tap right in that OTE. You hold the 0.618 perfectly, get a clean 1 minute inversion. Now, the reason I took this, I'm not going to lie, this is completely my fault. Like, this was just hesitation of entry. Typically, for me, I want to see ES kind of having a follow through. ES was literally just chopping here, and it was kind of iffy because I figured this would just rip and continue to go off of this Judas swing. And this was literally just me overthinking. I don't think I would take this trade if I was shown it again in the live moment, just because of how bad ES was. Uh, it was pretty rough on ES because at the time it just almost looked like chop. So now viewing the market from the stance I was at of a bullish scenario, what did I want to see? I wanted to see what I want to see the 4 hour get opened into, and I want to see longs from the 4 hour. Pretty simple scenario. The reason that's such a good setup is because it's in discount of this whole entire bullish range. Higher time frames bullish. We have stacked highs above. No real reason to continue lower and return back to these lows, in my opinion. Or at least that's what I was thinking. So yeah, let's mark up what we were doing here. And this was the setup I took and got completely fried on. So this setup, I have to keep in mind what was good about this setup, what was bad about this setup. I don't think it was a terrible setup, but what I do not like about this is the fact that you have the true manipulation being that ES is inside of this. If this was a candle with a wick on it, it's different. It's a devil's mark. You're how many points? 1 point away from a devil's mark on a 4 hour on ES. And then you get the inversion. And if ES is technically the bullish pair, ES is the pair that didn't sweep lower. ES should be going up faster. This was a great point that was made to be by Reese. And we should be running up higher on ES because technically ES is the bullish pair. And ES prints this bearish candle while NQ is printing a bullish candle. Also, given the fact that what are you targeting here? You do not have a 15-minute gap open yet. You are targeting a 1 or a 5-minute internal high that has some highs leading up to it, but it's a 5-minute internal high, and the 15-minute opens in 4 minutes. So the idea here was wait for that 10:30 open, resweep whilst ES is sweeping out that devil's mark, and then get the longs higher, because then at this point you have what? You have a stop hunt, you have a deeper sweep in this 4 hour, you have time aligned with a 10:30 opened, as well as you're not targeting this 5-minute internal high. You're targeting a 15-minute gap that is newly formed here, being this gap right here. So that's the idea of that. As you see, I took this, it failed, and then Trump spoke right at 10:30. Brutal. This loss, I risked well on this. Normally I'm risking about $350, $400 on my fundeds. I risked $250 on this, so I did obviously take a loss, but I'm happy it wasn't a full size loss, especially because taking this setup, in the back of my mind, I did realize ES could easily just sweep this. Obviously, you don't expect Trump to speak and give a 70-point wick, but that's just unfortunate. From there, what do? We just kind of chop around, and at this point, I think I got off right here. There's nothing for me to take. We're bouncing in between what? You're bouncing in between a Trump wick, a 15-minute gap, as well as the market already selling off 300 points. So that's that. And then let's get into Asia session because we have 2 minutes left of this video. So might as well talk about Asia session. There was a beautiful setup here. So boom. Asia is doing what? On ES, we are sweeping out buy side and highs inside of what? This bearish 1 hour gap. Now you have to keep in mind, trading this, your draw is very simple. Your draw is simply just this Trump wick that was created during AM session that we did what? We chopped around the whole rest of the day. If you look at a 15-minute after this wick was made, what did we do? We completely just ranged for the rest of the day. So this high finally gets swept right here. Super clean sweep. And we do what? We start disrespecting bullish gaps. Now, after this, I believe it was a 30-minute. No, it was a 15-minute. Yeah, it was this 15-minute. After this 15-minute gets inverted, this gives you a good idea that you're at least going to run to here. The reason is you have what? What is this 15-minute defending? This 15-minute is defending stacked lows leading up towards a data low. And what is it attacking? It's attacking an internal high of an hourly gap that gave a good reaction. It's really attacking nothing. So this was a setup a lot of people took. Smooth little retrace right down here. Let's go right back here, start new. Am I retarded? Hold up, bro, my bad. I literally just sold. Okay, so you have the 15-minute open right here. 15-minute is open. Also, 8 a.m.'s open does what? Let me get rid of this line. 8 a.m. is open, makes a wick. You add lows towards the new wick. You continue to push higher. You open, you tag your 15-minute gap right here. And I believe there was a 15-second that was just absolutely beautiful given narrative. Obviously, the setup itself is fucking hideous because there's no volume. But I mean, it's like, bro, that's the narrative behind the why for why I worked, and then you probably would have entered like me personally. Maybe I would have entered like off this CISD or something just for confirmation. Took something like this, stop like maybe right up here or something. I put my stop there, and very simply target a 3R almost, which is just wild work. Those data wicks always give the best R and just delivers to it beautifully. So there's that. Definitely a ton of opportunity. Heading into tomorrow, what am I expecting? Honestly, I haven't looked at this as much, but I think the only reason that this down move occurred was that Trump wick. I think we needed to liquidate that. I want to still see these highs. I don't really care that the 4 hour violated here, especially if we continue to violate bearish gaps. If I wake up in the morning and this gap is violated and we're trading like this, maybe we do something along these lines, push through here, push like this. I'd just very simply be looking for one resweep and then longs. So yeah, that's the narrative I'm kind of working with right now. And that is it. I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.